Welcome everyone back to the Smoker Fire Show. I am your host, Jack Alexander. Alongside me as always, we have Owen Colshaw Klein in the building. And as always, Alex Walters in the building. Today is the end of the trade deadline. We are officially done. A lot of moves have been made. A lot more moves than we anticipated. Starting off with Luka to the Lakers, of course, but then I feel like that kind of trickled down to everyone else. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that kind of incentivized other teams to make moves, or was that just going to happen regardless?
It altered the timeline so badly. We had a clip of Steph Curry missing shots in warm-ups. They had to look down at his hand to make sure he was okay. That's the effect that this Luka trade had on the league.
Yeah, the whole league has just completely just flipped on their heads. So today, I have a few of the trades that we'll go through. We're not going to go through everything. We'll be here forever. And so, to start, obviously, we need to go through that Luka trade. This is our one last time that we'll go through this, okay? This is our third time. But now we're going to really just give everyone a grade and give what we genuinely feel like after, I don't know, has it been a week already? It's been coming up on a week. So the Lakers receive Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. The Mavs receive Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. And then the Jazz got 2 second-round picks and Jalen Hood-Schifino. The Lakers, I don't know if they're a better team right now just simply because they don't really have the pieces to win around Luka. I think that Mavs team before the Luka trade is better than this Lakers team now.
Mm-hmm.
Agreeable. I feel like that's pretty obvious. And I feel like we can go into this Mark Williams trade as well because it has to do with the Lakers. They get Mark Williams and they gave up Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, their 2031 first-round pick, and a 2030 pick swap. I didn't even realize that they were able to swap picks for 2030.
Yeah, I was looking at this. Obviously, I made a troll video on it. You guys can go watch that later if you so choose. But this one made little to no sense to me from the sheer fact that Dalton Connect has been in LA for maybe 6 months. What the fuck is Charlotte going to do with another 3-point shooter? Like, are they just going to let him play out that year and then let him move him in the offseason? Like, is Dalton Connect going to legitimately be a part of Charlotte's rotation?
Well, the reason why they got it's more of why did they get rid of Mark Williams? And the reason behind that is because he's played 30% of his games. And he's had, I think, 2 back surgeries. His potential's there.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex can probably concur to this because he's a Charlotte fan. I think he is worth trying for, but there is plenty of risks in this trade. It's kind of like the Robert Williams thing.
It is sure. I saw. I can't holy words. I saw a stat that if he plays at least 25 minutes, I'm pretty sure he averages a double-double minimum. It's like 25 and 10 or something. If you give him enough minutes.
Well, here's the thing: he has a higher standing reach than Victor Wembanyama,
which is that's horrifying.
He has a 9.9 standing reach. So he's what, 1 inch away from just grabbing the rim without even going on his tippy toes.
So
that lob threat is there.
Mark Williams is very much high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
It can either go really poorly or it can be one of the best things we did this trade deadline.
But the thing is, that's the things that you have to do when you have a superstar on your roster. 2 superstars, technically.
Luka loves his Duke bigs.
I guess that is true. But Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, that's not really a huge haul. So I don't really think they risked a lot outside of that 2031 first round
pick.
That
2031 first round pick is huge because LeBron will be long gone by then.
Yeah, but if let's assume that they still have Luka. He's going to be what, 31? So he's going to be in his prime. It's not going to be a great pick.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be a good team by then.
They moved that with the idea that they're probably going to be picking in the mid to late 20s anyway, with if they go on legitimate runs in the playoffs or win the whole thing and pick at the back of the first round. So
Yeah.
I
But
guess
according
that's a risk
to
Palenka was willing to take in the interim.
Brian Windhorst, Luka might not even re-sign this offseason.
Okay, that's a load of shit. You wouldn't do all this to rent Luka for 30 games and get bounced in the first or second round. Like that's bullshit. That is more believable than Luka actually getting traded. Like that's how outlandish that was. But Lakers being an A. I'm gonna put that out there in the universe right now.
Yeah, it's A plus. You
Plus,
barely-
yeah, I agree.
you gave up Anthony Davis, but at the same time, you're swapping him for
A generational offensive.
someone who can also get 30 a night, 6 years younger, and you gave up 1 first-round pick for it.
Although, what does Dallas get in light of acquiring said Anthony Davis?
Max Christie.
Max Christie's been balling.
Well, no, I'm saying like letter grade. Like if you had to
Anthony
give that a letter
Davis is
Hasn't played yet.
superstar. He's a superstar. But it's kind of similar to that Mark Williams thing. I mean, look at his injury history.
grade. Yeah, they're
That's-
both-
His injury history though hasn't been prevalent in 2 years.
Yeah, it hasn't really
he's been
lingered.
better in the last couple of years, but I think this is the first time he's played a full season in his entire career.
Right. So, I mean, as far as talent-wise goes, you did give up a superstar, but, like, you got a superstar in return, a great young player, and a first-round pick in the next 4 years.
I think one of the big things is that I think it was RJ was talking about the other day in a game was about this Mavericks team, and I'll just read you their depth chart when everyone's healthy. You have Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. Once he's back, with a bench of they're saying second option would be Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't know how much I believe that, but Spencer Dinwiddie, Max Christie, Dante Exum, Najee Marshall, and Gaff. I mean that's a good 10.
Yeah, Exum coming off the bench is nice.
That's a good 10-man rotation.
That's a lot more of a functional second unit than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't believe their chances of winning a championship is better right now, but this is still a team that can make a run. The problem is they need to make a run like now.
Because Kyrie can just walk this offseason if he wants to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked I wonder if that depends on how far they go and how well that fit works with it.
It will.
I think the fit's perfect.
I love the fit.
I'm saying though, because Jack,
They've been wanting to play together since 2018.
I was gonna say we could say the fit works all we want, but until we see them win a playoff series, even two, we can't truly evaluate it. Like in the short term, we could say it's great, but long term, we have to wait.
Well, with that logic, you can also say that you can't say that it sucks either.
Yeah, I never said it sucks, but I'm saying we got to truly, in order to truly.
Yeah, but
it looks
I
like.
mean, we have a YouTube channel, dude. We got to talk about how the fit is going to be.
Well,
We can't just like sit here and be like, yeah,
Theoretically, the fit is going to
could
be
work,
the best.
but we don't know yet.
Jack, what's the letter grade then?
C minus.
Alex,
C minus. I was gonna say maybe C plus B minus.
I was gonna go somewhere like a B minus.
It's an A plus for the Lakers.
No,
B minus.
it's a passing grade for me. You just don't give up Luka.
It's one of those grades that you'll have to see how it ages.
Yeah,
And
Truly,
you didn't get more than 1 first-round pick when the Charlotte Hornets got 1 first-round pick for a center who has 2 back surgeries in the last 2 years.
And that pick swap,
And a pick swap.
which
And a young player in Dalton Connect. Like,
yeah.
I know you got Anthony Davis. That's 3 first-round picks right there. But, like, you could have grabbed that 31 pick.
You know what y'all sound like to me? Because every time all I hear when I hear y'all talk about this trade is Anthony Davis and that pick and how they didn't get the other pick. Y'all sound like those people at the press conference the other day where it was Anthony Davis, was it Caleb or Cody, whichever one they got, Caleb Martin,
Caleb.
Max Christie, and not a single person asked Max Christie a question because no one cares about Max Christie, and it hurts to hear everyone treat him this way.
Yeah.
You know who we haven't really talked about? We've talked about Max Crispy. Max Crispy.
I like
What,
Max,
third time?
I like Max Crispy.
We haven't talked about Cam Reddish. If we're gonna give anyone, we're still gonna get Cam Reddish.
I'm kidding. Relax.
We
Watch him at
I mean,
Duke.
objectively, we didn't give him any love.
Well, he was a hey, we need to make the money work, and you've been rotting on our bench.
Yeah.
And your money helps us. Your money helps the money work. We're gonna move you.
The
all,
Warriors.
all D, no O. That's all I got to say for Cam Reddish.
The Warriors got Jimmy Butler and 2 second-round picks and cash considerations from Miami. The Heat received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson. They ended up getting Davion Mitchell and a Warriors top 10 protected pick this season, which we'll probably convey. The Jazz got KJ Martin, Josh Richardson, 2 second-round picks, and cash considerations from Miami.
Okay, first of all, how in the hell does Utah keep getting roped into these deals? Like,
Because they have money.
Well, yeah, they do, but like these are they're just acquiring random pieces.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. Pistons, this is 5 teams. Pistons got Dennis Schroeder, Lindy Waters in a second. And the Raptors ended up getting PJ Tucker, a second-round pick, and cash considerations from Miami. They're just giving out cash.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I just did my taxes. Anytime that I get a check, I know that I'm going to do taxes on it. How much taxes are they getting or having to pay next season?
I mean,
because of the cash.
It's also pretty easy to move cash considerations everywhere when the only player you're paying on your roster legitimately is Lauri Markkanen. Like,
no, it's from Miami.
Oh, I was gonna say because if Utah was just giving out cash, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
No. And he's wearing number 10, Jimmy Butler.
Why?
I don't know. He
also said he would
something at the press conference. I didn't really understand him.
He also said he wouldn't sign an extension, and then he inked a $60 million a year deal.
Well, he wouldn't sign it because Golden State said they wouldn't offer it to him immediately.
Right.
That's a loaded. I'm calling bullshit on that one too.
They said they wouldn't. They wanted to see how it played out before they offered him a deal. So he said, "All right, I'm not going to resign in the offseason then." And then they became desperate. They became desperate, so they were like, "Fine, we'll offer you an extension." He opted out and signed that extension.
That's a lot to pay for somebody who's going to blow up your locker room within 3 months. But I digress.
Him and Draymond,
only 2 years.
Him and Draymond will be very fun. That'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I mean, honestly, I'm going to give it a B. Now, walk with me here from the simple fact that this is one of those we also have to see how it, like with all of these we have to see how it ages. Like I could say Jimmy and Steph is going to work out great because you have 2 heliocentric players, and we've seen that can work. But it's about all the young rotational pieces. Because last time Jimmy played with a bunch of like young pieces and inexperienced pieces, he was in the Twin Cities. What did he do? He then proceeded to dog walk our starters with the force because our starters were too soft and inexperienced. And now he's playing with like a Brandon Pajemski. He's like,
dude, there's young players on every team.
That's
how the Heat were. I mean, he built that Heat around Bam and Tyler, who had at that point done nothing. Tyler was a rookie.
I'm saying that's every team.
Jimmy probably got impatient and wanted to ring chase, and now he's with Steph. So I have to see it.
It sounds like you've been traumatized by Jimmy Butler.
I have. You know how many articles I had to,
that was the only place that he did that, by the way. So I think it's more.
Yeah, but you know how many articles I had to read about that dude? That was in the news cycle for like a full week, and that was all people talked about.
Nothing is
happen.
This is the only team that he has not toxically forced his way out of is Philly.
That's the most ironic shit ever.
Because every team that he's gone to is not willing to pay him the amount of money that he wants.
Apparently, his interactions with Chicago were really bad. That's actually come out recently. We know what happened in Minnesota, and Philly was just Tobias Harris over me.
That's a great clip. That is a great clip.
So,
Yeah.
Jack, if and history usually does repeat itself with him.
What has history also told us? It tells
With
us
Jimmy Butler,
yes, when he is respected and he is paid, what does he do?
he will ball
He
out.
brings an 8 seed to the finals.
Yeah, you guys, that's not happening again. If you think this is going to be some Miami Heat ass arc with your Warriors, Jack, no.
I'm not saying it will be. I'm just saying when he's paid and he's respected,
Steph Curry is the
he
best player
goes
he's
out
ever
and
played
he
with.
performs.
Steph Curry is the best player he's ever played with.
Alex, it wasn't Cat? No. Just kidding. But
And the two teams that he
Or Joel Embiid.
I mean, to begin being in Miami, he had a great relationship there. He wanted to retire in Miami. Then that team and this team that he is now on are the only two teams that he's played for that has kind of that culture of winning.
The one thing that worries me is we saw how things went with Pat Riley because Pat Riley was reluctant to do anything to help him. And we have seen what Mike Dunleavy will go out here and say, we're not going to mortgage our future. We're not. You tell that to Jimmy, he's done. He's done.
Yeah, that was also just cap because clearly they made the trade.
Jamie Butler's like that one girlfriend's like, if you don't drop everything you're doing and come attend to my every single need ever, I'm leaving you.
He is.
If that's how I had to describe Jimmy Butler as a casual basketball fan, that's how I would do it.
This is the best way to describe him.
All I know is it's going to be extremely fun to watch.
It will be. Oh, it'll be great to watch.
100%.
8:30 Central Time tonight.
Does he play tonight?
He does.
What's journalism?
So does Luka.
No, he doesn't. Luka doesn't.
Is he not get cleared again?
I think Monday is. I saw headlines
he's
Monday.
got to play until Monday.
This is why.
See, Lakers host the Pacers in 5 hours, and then the Warriors are in Chicago tonight at 7. I imagine he'll get booed by both fans or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Who else is Mark playing? I doubt Mark's playing tonight.
I believe Anthony Davis is playing tonight too, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, they're at home against the Rockets, so it makes sense to debut them in your own arena. Did you also see the shoot-around clip of him just standing there? Everyone else was joking, laughing. He's standing there like the new guy at work. He's just like,
yeah.
So, but even then, I give that trade a B. From a sheer offense
trade, I give it an A minus, and the reason being is you didn't give up any of your young pieces.
Mm-mm.
You did not mortgage your future. You gave up this year's pick and it's top 10 protected even.
I just wonder if
Kyle Anderson.
I just wonder if Jimmy didn't go nuclear and just quietly asked for a trade and Pat Riley found him a deal if Pat Riley had gotten more. Because I feel like the Heat had to rush that to just get him off their roster and out of Miami as fast as possible.
Because you had to get something.
I was
You
going
had
to
to
say,
get something at that point.
it begs the question, could Pat Riley have gotten more if Jimmy wasn't whining?
Possibly. If he didn't turn down every team that offered anything for him.
Yeah. He made it difficult for them.
So
Made it very difficult.
Which made it perfect for the Warriors because they were desperate.
Alex, do you have a
They
trade?
needed to do something. If they didn't do anything, it would be an F. I'd give them an F. But they did something.
Yeah.
I'll give it, to be honest, I'd have to say I'd give it probably a B on both sides. I like that there's a lot of concerns that come with Jimmy Butler. I really like what the Heat got back. I mean, I think Andrew Wiggins there will actually be kind of fun to watch. This team was 500 without Jimmy Butler adding anything to it. So now you basically have just added Andrew Wiggins without taking anything away.
Plus Davion Mitchell, plus Kyle Anderson.
Yes, they did get Davion.
Possible first-round pick this year.
Functional
So-
point guard.
You know what? The more we talk about it, bump up Miami to like a B+. I really do think they actually got a good amount back for what happened this year.
Just simply because they actually have people who's playing.
I can agree with that.
The Spurs pair up Wemby with De'Aaron Fox.
This one's fun. This one's great. I
You
love
get
it.
De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings receive Zach LaVine Owen, don't yell at me. City Casico,
City Sissoko.
whatever.
Yeah.
A 2025 lottery protected Hornets pick that will not convey. So that's just pointless. A 2027 Spurs first round pick. The Timberwolves 2031 first round pick and 3 second round picks.
Because of course. Nice.
They did pretty good. And then the Bulls got Zach LaVine, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 first round pick.
The Bulls didn't get Zach LaVine. You said the Bulls got Zach LaVine, and then you listed off their actual
Zach
trade.
Collins.
Oh, okay. I thought I was tweaking. My bad. Carry on.
I might have said Zach LaVine. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll go back and see it.
However, I did see highlights of Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. I think that fit is immaculate. I'm going to be completely honest. You give Wemby more floor spacing because you have to respect De'Aaron Fox as opposed to Chris Paul. I think that's going to be glorious.
Yeah, this floor spacing does get better. The thing is he is a score first point guard. And when you have Victor Wembanyama, you should not be a score first.
He had 22, and then Wemby had a double-double with 16 last night, and they lost to the Hornets because, of course, they did. But
I mean, De'Aaron Fox did have that.
He hit the game winner. He just didn't get it off in time.
Yeah.
So
the thing with De'Aaron is, like, early on in his career, he was very much a playmaking point guard. But the last few years, like basically post Domantas Sabonis, he hasn't had to be. So I think, and especially with playing with Chris Paul, if he can get back into that bag a little bit, even the slightest bit, it will work out in the long run for them. Yeah,
I think it's got to be the rest of this regular season for the Spurs is going to be about finding that balance between De'Aaron Fox being a pure scorer and De'Aaron Fox throwing lobs to Wemby and facilitating an offense.
I think he can do both.
I mean, he can do both, but you got to find a healthy balance of him not destroying possessions by trying to forcing himself to create something as opposed to just getting it to Wemby and letting Wemby go.
The best part about all of this is not even getting De'Aaron Fox. It's the fact that you got De'Aaron Fox, you have Chris Paul, and you still
kept Steph. Kept all those pieces.
He was insane last night.
Yes.
Insane.
And the beauty of it is you have Chris Paul right now who can mentor both of them. Mm-hmm. You have I think a 27-year-old De'Aaron Fox who can help you win now. He's in his prime. And then after all of that, you have someone in Stephon Castle who actually is with your timeline with Victor Wembanyama.
Wait, I just realized they were talking on SportsCenter. They were talking about the De'Aaron Fox and Wemby fit, and they ignored Steph Castle dropping 33. What is this injustice that they're doing? How are you just going to ignore that?
They'll learn at some point.
Is it because they lost to the Hornets?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, because if they won that game, do you think they show any of his buckets?
That's a team that probably has 11 wins on the season now after that?
They are 13-36.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And the another thing that I know they're not exactly what you expect, but the fact that the Spurs were able to keep Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and Devin Vassell. Keldon Johnson hasn't been that good this year. Or really at all.
Those three players.
I'd expected them to.
But really, all you gave up was a 2027 first, Trey Jones, and Zach Collins.
You gave up a bunch of nothing.
And fellas, you want to know how fun this is going to be over the next week and a half for the Spurs? They get the Magic, Celtics, Suns, and Pistons in 4 of their next 5. So they get a bunch of grade A matchups to go test this offense out in. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited for Spurs Pistons for the first time in my entire 21 years on this planet.
I give the Spurs an A+. I give the Kings like a D+, and then I give the Bulls an F.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say F because they do get their first round pick now.
Yeah,
they just need to lose out. Pretty much.
Too bad that they were so competitive the entire first half. They didn't get rid of Vooch. I give everything the Bulls did. Nothing that makes me think they're finally committing to a rebuild here. They re-signed Lonzo Ball.
I think
when Kobe White's your future.
King's probably get a C for me. Obviously, there's an A for the Spurs because you get your point guard for the future, and then
that's an A+.
I agree with Alex from the sheer standpoint of they've just kind of been sitting on their hands for the last 5 years.
That's all Carney Chauvis has done since he took office.
Yeah, they haven't done anything, and then you move on to which you were going to move Zach LaVine anyway, but you get
Like
all you get back is your first overall your first round pick that you
they're
moved anyway.
they're the 10th seed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're not going to fall down to they maybe will fall down to 11.
No, they'll definitely fall down to 11.
And
Philly will surpass them. It's a matter of can
Jack,
they lose enough for the Brooklyn Nets to surpass them.
Jack, how else are we going to get our yearly Hawks Bulls 9-10 play-in game?
Oh God,
so
Yeah,
you traded Zach
Yeah.
LaVine for
most boring ass team ever. Or
no one.
that play-in game would be like 140 to 135, and I would watch all 48 minutes of that for that simple reason.
I genuinely don't care to watch those two teams. I've been trying to watch the Atlanta Hawks. It's been tough since Johnson has been out, but now that you trade Herter and you have Johnson out, like who's your starting? You have Karis LeVert now, and then that's it.
Yeah,
that's all you got on the wing.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know what they're doing. Like they got to get rid of. I mean, we could get into them trading Trae Young, but we got a couple other trades to go through.
Yeah,
but,
Jack, you want to give trade grades and then we can move on?
Yeah, I think they can drop to 12. I think that's possible, depending on how well the Brooklyn Nets play. They're only up 4 games, and we still got a half a season to go through. Like that's plenty of time.
Yeah, rest of February, rest of March, and a week in April.
Yeah, and the Bulls now they suck. I mean, all you got is Vooch.
I'm mad that the entire season, Cam Johnson has been. Where's Cam Johnson going to go? Nowhere. Brooklyn did nothing.
I think we were speculating.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Cam Thomas.
Cam Johnson.
We were speculating about him for months. Ever since the Nets actively started losing games a month and a half ago, we were speculating. Pretty sure we threw out 4 different teams, not on air, but just in texts and various conversations. I remember talking to you guys 4 or 5 different spots where he could go.
Kevin Durant almost got traded this offseason before Cam Johnson.
Kevin Durant was almost a Grizzly. That's how ridiculous this was.
Luka Doncic got friggin' traded.
Yeah,
Luka Doncic got traded and Cam Johnson didn't.
We live in a society.
Well, it's because he's making $22 million a year. People are terrified of that second apron. Only contenders are going to trade for him.
Wow,
Draymond said it best. The second apron sucks.
We moved Cap because of the second apron rules, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Move on.
I like the second apron. I think it equals out the league.
Well, yeah, of course it does. Yeah, because otherwise you'd have LeBron, Steph, and Jimmy Butler all in the Warriors, and you'd have a starting 5 of the Avengers on Golden State just so they could play Steph.
The problem I have with it is that it takes smaller market teams, like I'm going to say, for instance, Denver, who has done nothing but trade for Aaron Gordon.
There you go.
They brought in KCP, and these people these were guys no one cared for. They brought in a bunch of rejects. They basically made it the island of misfit toys. They won a championship with it, and because Jokic is able to make everybody look so good, they could not afford these people, and they had to let them go. And it is so stupid that you can do everything right as a franchise. Like the Thunder are going to be screwed in 2 years, and they've done nothing. They haven't gone out and traded for pieces. They've just gone drafted really well, signed some cheap free agents.
Are you saying screwed in 2 years because they're going to have to pay Chet and they're going to have to pay SGA?
They have to pay everybody and the second apron's not going to allow it.
They're going to pay. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to pay Chet and they're going to pay SGA, and then they're just going to plug and play.
And that's my biggest gripe with the second apron is that for smaller market teams who are doing everything right, like for instance the Timberwolves. Now they also brought in Rudy. If they didn't bring in Rudy, then it wouldn't have been a problem. But
so how does it affect big market teams then?
It doesn't, because the Lakers and the Celtics can afford to pay the luxury tax. Hence why they are. They can afford to pass a second apron because the Lakers have a ton of money. I mean, it's owned by Genie Bus.
Well, and not only that, with the Celtics, do you think they would have taken Peyton Pritchard as just a fuck you pick if they couldn't afford to pay the luxury tax? I love Peyton Pritchard. He's a great backup, but I feel like they would have taken somebody more serious. They would have legitimately looked for a point guard to
Dude, he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Peyton Pritchard at the time felt like a random-ass pick because they just they had a pick and they needed to use it on somebody. You know what I mean? Like, am I crazy for saying that? At
Kind
the
of.
time, obviously that aged
Well,
poorly.
the thing is there's NBA scouts who do this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
So like they kind of can see what they're going to be drafting.
And I'm not discrediting the work of it. Again, at the time, I thought Peyton Pritchard was just kind of a random, hey, we're picking in the late 20s, early 30s. Because
I mean, that's any late 20s, early 30s pick.
That's my point.
Like Desmond Bain?
It feels more random because it was the Celtics, and they could afford to pay Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and all those guys. But carry on.
But another thing I would have put down is it also comes down to the way that these teams are ran nowadays. You've got owners like what's the guy's name who owns the Clippers?
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer cares about basketball. He does not look at this. He looks at it as a business, but he looks at it as a basketball team first.
Builds it around the fans, yeah.
Then you have the owner. I don't know what their name is of the Mavericks because it's not our boy anymore. Who
it's like the
That's like 10%, I believe.
It's and they own a bunch of casinos and stuff, and
and they were trying to.
They didn't want to pay the luxury tax because that's money out of their pocket. They only look at this as a way to make money.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to line their pockets.
And we need owners to be held accountable.
How so?
As the commissioner, if you're going out and you're blatantly making moves, I don't know. I can't sit here and come up with like all of these what's the word? Like stipulations that need to be covered in order for owners to be held accountable here. And I'm gonna keep this short, but like Adam Silver has the ability. We've seen
he needs
trades get vetoed. We've seen one trade get vetoed before. Now I'm not saying Adam Silver came in and vetoed the Luka trade, but you can at least change things about it. The way the Luka trade went down was disgusting. No one knew about it. He basically Nico Harrison got groomed.
Wow,
by Rob Pelinka.
He's not wrong. Like we laugh, he's not wrong at all.
And because management at the end of the day, the owners at the end of the day just didn't want to pay Luka. They didn't care what happened.
Yeah.
Now Nico Harrison, I still think what he did was stupid. I still think screw him. But now he has to walk around with security detail because Mavericks fans want to kill him.
Yeah, they literally sent him death threats. Like
and ownership just gets to sit in their $1 billion skyscraper and watch as all of the people that are fans of the team that they own are crying and trying to kill the man that they hired.
Oh no, Nico Harrison's life is in danger. It sure would be a shame. Oh, wipes tears with hundreds.
They don't care.
Yeah,
it's all about money.
That's an idea for a new video. It's going to be called "If We Were Adam Silver."
Oh God, dude, we're going to be here for like 2 hours just throwing out ideas, but
let's move on. That long.
Jack, what about the Ingram trade?
We got 28 minutes, I think, left with Alex. So you got what? 2 more trades you want to cover?
The next one I got, Cleveland Cavaliers are DeAndre Hunter.
This is beautiful.
In return for Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks and 2 picks.
Fleeced.
That was beautiful.
Fleeced.
Well, Alex, who fleeced?
The Cavs fleeced the Hawks in every way.
I mean, that sounds like a bigger haul than what the Mavericks got back for Luka. Like that's 2 players and 3 picks. Is that not a bigger haul?
And you realize that they still got Anthony Davis, right?
No, I'm saying though, like I'm not just like in terms of sheer volume of what they got back. I'm not talking about player value. I'm talking about volume of what was sent in a general direction.
What does volume matter? When has that ever mattered? When you get Anthony Davis.
I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying it's wild that this is almost a bigger volume trade than what Luka to the Lakers was.
You arguably traded your best your at this season based off of who's been healthy. Your second option for Karis LeVert, who is an expiring deal and he's all right. Georges Niang, who probably isn't going to touch the court, 3 seconds and then pick swaps. When DeAndre Hunter was having his best year, like a career year for himself, and that's what you get back.
My biggest thing that I've thought of is, okay, yes, DeAndre Hunter is having a career year, but you sell high on him. You sell high on him when
That's high.
Hold on. I'm not there yet.
We did
You
just
sell
say
high on him. This is Owen. Shut up. Owen, shut up. I'm talking. No, go on. What were you gonna say?
I said we did just use the words career year and then sell.
Yeah.
So sell high isn't a crazy statement.
Right. Yeah. So this is what you do. This is what you do with players that are having a career year. Like it's just like stocks and bonds. You sell high on the player that is doing great, but it's the only time in his own entire career that he's done that. So you sell high.
But this
is they didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is selling high.
Karis LeVert, okay, as far as the Cavs go, Karis LeVert was a beautiful fit. He could play the 2, he could play the 3, he can defend, he could go on the perimeter, he can shoot, he can drive, he can literally do anything for this team. He was a plug-and-play type of player. So he was a beautiful fit. As far as DeAndre Hunter goes, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't think
it makes me wonder if maybe the Cavs would have tried a Dyson. Was Dyson Daniels ever in the cards? Did you guys see any rumors?
No, 100% not.
I would hope not.
You're telling me the Cavs didn't want to go after somebody who could.
No, I'm saying the Hawks wouldn't give him up.
I'll say, yeah, I guess, but I'm saying
what? Karis LeVert?
Well, no, it'd be a bigger haul than that because Dyson Daniels would be a Tatum stopper in the playoffs. But
I think objectively,
DeAndre Hunter could be that. I mean, let's not forget DeAndre Hunter. His whole selling point coming into the league was his defensive ability.
Yeah. Okay. Then maybe you got a different version of Dyson, a better version of Dyson Daniels. But I'm gonna say the Cavs got an A. But I love all Cleveland fans that maybe listen to any of our shit. You're still not gonna beat Boston. You might make it more competitive.
I don't know, man. Boston looks bad. Boston looks bad.
But I'm saying though, remember this time last year they looked bad, and then what happened? They hoisted another.
They did not look this bad.
Well,
this was a 60-win team who is now what? Let me look at where they're standing. They are 7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah.
They lost to an injured Mavericks team last night who, keep in mind, traded Luka, and the guy that they traded him for didn't play at all.
Yeah.
They lost to, I'm trying to look at their thing. They lost to the Mavs. Okay, hold on. This is really weird.
We got 2 to go through too, by the way.
Yeah, you said 7-3. Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's wonderful.
Got blown out by the Lakers a couple weeks ago.
That's an outlier game. It's not going to happen.
Got beat by the Hawks. Got beat by the Raptors. Got beat by the Kings. Got beat. Okay, I'm not going to count the Thunder. That's an unfair advantage. But they're losing to teams that have no right to be beating them.
But at the same time, that happens every single night. Like my Bulls lost to the Blazers twice in 2 nights, and you would think the Wolves would beat the Blazers every single time.
The difference is that the Eastern Conference last year was nowhere near as good as it is now.
Well, here's
nowhere near.
Here's the thing: the Pistons. I'm going to use the Pistons as an example. They're a 6th seed in the East right now. 26-26 would get you barely into the play-in in the West.
I think they have plenty of time to figure it out.
Yeah, they're on cruise control. I know they're 6 games back, but they're going to get a top 2 or 3 seed. If the Knicks catch them, it is what it is.
They don't need the 2 seed. Like this,
they just need to get in. Boston just needs to get in. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
again,
maybe Cleveland beats them. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be Cleveland theoretically. I'm just saying I don't have a lot of faith in it. There's a lot of teams. I mean, the Knicks are perfectly built to go against them.
They gotta stay healthy. That's their issue.
They can stay healthy in the regular season, just not in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't really know how I feel about Milwaukee. It's really just the Knicks and Cavs.
That's what I'm saying, and I think the way it would be.
Those top 3 are heavy, though.
The way it would be set up right now is the Cavs would be on one side of the draw, and then your second round series would be Boston and New York. which would be absolute cinema. But
But
one of those teams has to get eliminated to get to Cleveland.
I'd give an A to Cleveland, C plus to Atlanta.
C plus is generous.
Yeah, C minus.
Some of those second round picks turn into Nikola Jokic.
I'd go flat C. What are the odds they actually use those second round picks during a Taco Bell commercial?
It's entirely possible.
What trades you got next? There's two. There's the last two I could think of.
Yeah, it's the two that you're thinking of.
Okay.
Brandon Ingram's headed to Toronto, and the Pelicans are getting back Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a 2026 Pacers first round pick, and a second round pick.
Bro, a lot of teams got fleeced. I don't understand. I hate that return for Brandon Ingram.
What do you think? A couple more picks on top of it, or a different rotational?
Like
piece?
you got a pick from a team that is currently the 4th seed in the East.
You could have got RJ Barrett for him.
Yeah, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, but you got Bruce Brown, who hasn't truly played well in since Denver.
Yeah,
a lot of that has been injury related,
and he's making some cash too.
You got what was it, Kelly Olynyk?
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk.
Not a bad fit. I like Kelly Olynyk there.
A 2026 Pacers first round pick?
I don't like the pick. I don't like the pick at all. This team is currently the 4th seed in the East, meaning it is a late 20 pick.
Yeah, but that's
what Brandon Ingram's worth.
That'd be next season.
I know, but do you really think anything is gonna, other than them losing potentially losing Miles Turner?
Yep.
I don't obviously injuries can happen.
That's kind of your
anchor. Miles Turner would be a massive blow to them, relatively speaking.
That's if they lose him.
I think they will. I think he'll find more money elsewhere. Probably.
I was gonna say someone else will be willing to fork over a little bit more than what he's making right now.
But I give it an A for the Raptors. It's kind of a weird choice, but
I was gonna say it's. I don't know why. I love Bi, and I'm not saying it's a bad pickup, but how does he fit into the Raptors' future? Because the Raptors aren't.
He doesn't.
It also, if you're gonna go trade out and get Brandon Ingram,
they traded Pascal Siakam for Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, don't get rid of Pascal Siakam. Just keep Pascal Siakam.
Oh yeah,
they used the stuff they got from the Pascal trade to get Brandon Ingram. They traded Pascal for Brandon Ingram.
That's what I'm saying. You could have.
So why would you have traded Pascal?
You just got worse.
Yeah, if they keep Siakam, they're probably a play-in team minimum every single year. Those two are together.
I mean, I get getting rid of Pascal Siakam. I mean, you try to go for your future. You try to gain as much capital as possible, and then you keep it. You don't go out and trade for a 27-year-old Brandon Ingram who hasn't really blossomed into the player that we thought he was going to be.
They're like the Bulls. They have no direction.
Yep,
no direction.
They don't
whatsoever. They're just doing this to be relevant, to be in conversation. I mean,
they want to sell to
make the playoffs.
So with that said, A for the Raptors. I'm going to give the Pelicans a C.
I give the A to the Raptors solely because of what they gave up, though. Yeah, I have to give it
I'm going to give them a B just simply because there's not a reason to do this. It's just like the Luka trade. You did get Anthony Davis, you did get Max Christie, you did get a first round pick, but there was no reason to do that.
I was going to say, I don't know why the Pelicans wouldn't send him to a contender who'd be willing to give up more for that piece, because that piece fits into their plans.
Yeah.
Even like the Pistons, like we discussed, I'm going to beat a dead horse again. Like the Pistons would have paid him, and he would have been a future part of their plans. You pair him with Cade, you pair him with Jaden Ivey, you pair him with all those guys, and you have a legitimate 1-2 scoring punch.
1-2-3 scoring punch.
1-2-3 scoring. Yeah, exactly. In an East where again you're sitting at 26 and 26 as the Pistons, that elevates you maybe to get a home playoff series with that 4 seed potentially, if you can put it all together.
The value of a first round pick at this very moment seems to be extremely high. I mean, we saw it with this trade. We saw it with De'Aaron Fox trade. We saw it with, the Lakers trade, obviously. Both
Even if the picks don't convey. They just see that number 1, and they're like, oh, first rounder?
Yeah, that was stupid.
Although, Jack, we got maybe 10 minutes before Alex has to dip here.
Yeah, we only got one more. It's fine.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Let's get this.
The
I know this trade. I was arguing with Jack on Twitter about this one.
The Bucks are swapping Chris Middleton, someone who I agree with getting rid of. I agree with sending out a 32-year-old, I think, player who hasn't really been back to the player that he was in the finals run, and coming off of 2 ankle injuries and plenty of injury history. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with you sending out Chris Middleton.
Yeah, gentlemen.
But the Bucks received Kyle Kuzma, Owen. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not justifying that by any means, but I want you to listen to this explanation I do, because someone asked me at the Smoker Fire Pod, because we are your authority for all things ball knowledge related, why the Bucks would possibly do this, and I said I'd imagine it had something to do with the injury history and specifically the missed playoff series in 2022, which was supposed to be their title defense after they won it in 21. You're also giving him $31 million this season. His player option is $3 million more than that, so that obviously messes with what you would do later on, and then with the Bucks rebuild, I said reload. You're paying Giannis $48 million. That's going to get to 66 by the time his deal is done in 2028. So if this is getting cap relief, Kuzma's a little bit cheaper, and then you can get pieces to replace like Dame and complement Dame, and then complement Giannis until he retires. So this is basically your post Giannis and or Dame plan. Is that accurate? Relatively speaking,
I don't think we need to be talking about post Giannis.
But I'm saying though, like, why would the Bucks move off of Chris Middleton? Like, if you had to provide a reason, is that a valid?
Because they want to win. They want to win, and in terms of being there to play every night, Kuzma has more value than Chris Middleton. You don't know when Chris is going to be okay to play. You don't know if you do make a deep playoff run, how long will he be there? Will he make it to the first round? Will he make it to the second round? Will he be there for the Eastern Conference Finals? Will he be there for the finals if we make it that far? You don't know because you haven't seen it from him in 3 years.
Yeah, on the court, he's cool, but he's not on the court.
Keyword is when he's on the court, yeah. So
my justifying statement for this trade is Jericho Sims. We have our center for the future. He's 26 years old. He I believe he's going to play well with Giannis, but he is more of a future than we have with Brook Lopez. I mean, Brook Lopez is coming up on 38 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean, we made this decision to look more for the future and kind of give ourselves a little bit of a cushion, so to speak. Brook Lopez, 37. Chris Middleton, I think, is 33. Like, these players aren't going to be here forever.
And how long does Dame even have left? I know it's like
Dame's going to have a lot longer than the other 2 players that I mentioned.
I'm saying though, I feel like this was made with the move that maybe Dame doesn't have as much left as the organization thinks he does, and Giannis.
No, this move is to give them that third option.
Yeah,
I mean they don't have one. And look, this is what I told Jack on Twitter. Okay, I said the last time Kyle Kuzma cared about basketball, because I will admit, he was drained this year. He did not want to be in Washington.
I mean,
he said,
I mean, it's the fucking Washington Wizard, dude.
When I brought up
Taker.
So last year, this is what Kyle Kuzma gave you. He was giving you 22 points per game. I'm trying to pull it all. Look at it all.
It's not efficient.
5 rebounds, 2 assists. We're getting to that. Shooting 46% from the field. And 33% from 3 33% from 3 on 6 attempts.
Okay, so
that gets
it's just his 3 ball.
That gets a little bit.
And it's not that terrible for a guy who shoots 6 attempts.
That's what I'm saying. But I wonder, Jack, I feel like those numbers get skewed a little bit because the Wizards played like a different style than he's going to play in. His role is going to be entirely different in Milwaukee. Like,
oh yeah, I mean he's also going to be playing the 3, which I think that's going to benefit him more.
Yeah. So
he's not going to be the second option or the first option. Like, he can kind of take the back seat and.
The Wizards play basketball like I played pickup runs yesterday. They play at light speed. There's minimal defense, so there's plenty of shot volume opportunities. So.
Oh yeah, because the reason that you're a Wizard is just to show the league what you got offensively. That's
So
pretty
you
much
think-
all you do.
Are the Wizards just basically a giant development team now? Entire org.
Won
Yes.
like 8 games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm saying it's kind of funny that we view the Wizards as a tryout for the other 31 options.
Absolutely. I mean, that's any bad team that doesn't really have a future. I mean, you got Alex Sarr, but like,
Bob Carrington.
yeah.
Bilal
I
Coulibaly.
just think Alex Sarr is just a glorified Jahlil Okafor. Like,
That's holy shit.
that's how I feel. Like,
Don't
He's played- Jack,
slander my boys.
glorified.
Jack, he's played 50. As I say, he's played 50 NBA games. We're throwing out Jahlil Okafor comparisons after like 50.
College national champion Jahlil Okafor.
The
Yeah.
guy who beat Wisconsin in the Final Four.
Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Not
I
just
mean,
any
in the championship, not the Final Four.
the
I don't know.
champion.
Let's give trade grades and get Alex out of here.
I like it for the. I like it for. They got AJ Green too, so I like it for the Wizards. I give them a B, and I give both teams
They got
B.
AJ They got so the Bucks
AJ
got
Johnson, not
Kyle
AJ Green.
Kuzma, Jarko Sims in a second. The Wizards get Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and a 2028 first round pick swap.
I love it. I like it for them.
The Knicks got Dylan Wright, which is tough, and the Spurs get Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Yeah, I like it for all teams, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
B across the board. I'll give it a B across the board.
That's
I
right.
hate that Chris Middleton has to rot in Washington now, but
B
the
across
Knicks
the board.
snatching Dylan Wright randomly.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, so B's across the board. The craziest trade deadline in NBA history.
Amen.
I don't know what's I feel like I'm still in a fever dream. I don't know what's next. That second apron just killed a bunch of teams.
100%.
Killing everyone. And it's going to kill a lot more very soon.
100%.
I didn't realize that the Thunder were going to be in shambles the next few years, but it does make sense once Chet Holmgren's contract is out.
But guys, they have 75
J
picks for
Dub.
the next 30 years. Oh no.
Well, they can just kind of reload with the guys that they want to
Yeah.
pay, get rid of
Guys like-
everyone else, and then fill it in with young players again.
Yeah, so it's going to be SGA, Chet, and a bunch of like
J-Dub.
high school sophomores.
Pretty much. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and check out our Instagram and TikToks. We are also doing short form content as well. But if you like the long form content better, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment. What do you think? What would you grade these teams? And we'll see you on the next one.